Welcome back, my Sneepsters. It's SNEEBPRANO here, and we are back for a little bit more Settlers of Catan reviews. And I'm just going to show you really quick. We're getting close. We just need, like, a couple more wins to get to the top 100, like maybe, like, 2 or 3. And, yeah. We've been playing a lot offline just because it's easier for me to win when I'm not commentating. You see, we only got 48 games this season. I think we can make it in there before the end of the season. Let's get into this review, guys. So the first thing that I notice about this board, guys, is these big spots. 8, 5, 10, 6, 9, 5, 6, 9, 3. These are probably going to be the first couple spots off the board. And actually, red does this first, which I think is good, but I honestly just think the ore wheat sheep is better here. There's not a huge amount of ore on this board. Leaving this to second, they're getting a better combination than you would, so you're just making a very strong ore wheat sheep player. And actually, we decide to take the 693 here. Now, you might be saying, Sneeb, you just said that the 8, 5, 10 is so good. Why would you take the 693? And the reason why is 8, 5, 10 doesn't have great ports. I'm looking at this board, and I'm thinking, you know, what's third and fourth going to do if I place here? And what I think is going to happen is third's going to go 6, 9, 3, and then fourth is going to go 8, 4, 10, or 3, 4, 8, 8, 4, 3. And then they're going to go into these ports here, sheep port 3 to 1. And I'm not really a big fan of losing my 3 to 1 playing OWS. And what I notice about this 693 is that, you know, if this places out like how I think it might, I can get this 6, 3, 11. Like 8, 5, 10 might go just straight up OWS. They might go 6, 3, 11. But, you know, 8, 5, 10 in third might also go for this 11, 5, 4. Or even this 11, 9, 4 to block out this 9, 10, 11 spot for red, right? Like if we place this out, I'm thinking that, you know, fourth is going to go the 8, 4, 3s, and then orange might go either 11, 4, 5 or 6, 3, 11. And I like both of these outs for me because if I get this one, I can just go to the sheep port. I double my wheat. Now I have perfect ore wheat ratios, and I have the sheep port for all my extra sheep. I also have roads on this board, which is good, or a starting road on this board, which is good because the only good wood is this 8. Right? The only good wood on this entire board is this 8. And actually, blue kind of throws me for a little bit of a loop here. They go for this setup, which I think they are really underestimating the power of this wood here from blue. It's the only good wood spot, and there's a good amount of brick. You know, this 510, like, someone's going to go there, right? So, also, this 9, 10, 11, your 9 and 10 are getting blocked like a ton, and you don't really have the wheat to support the ore. So I don't think that this was the right choice from blue. And now orange correctly recognizes that this wood has a lot of value and goes there. And instead of going pure ore wheat sheep, I decide here, you know, I'm not really sure, like, I want to play straight up devs against blue and orange, who their setups, like, primarily build development cards. What I'm kind of thinking here is that I can go to this 510, right? I can go to this sheep port, I can go to this 510, and maybe I can connect and play road here, because we have, I don't think blue's dropping this road. I think they want to go to their ports, right? So I'm kind of thinking we might be able to play road against red here. And so let's get started. Let's see what happens. Game starts, and immediately a 3 rolls, which is really big for our position. We really need that wheat. Red goes first and just passes the dice. We roll another 3. And now we just decide to drop the road. And the reason why is normally I might like hold this road, maybe. Probably not, because we need to get rid of the wood. But if in another circumstance, if I had more wood, I might hold that road to protect the wheat, since I'm only on this 3 of wheat. But I'm thinking like, you know, blue and red just rolled 2 3s also. Orange also got a 3, so no one really wants the wheat. So I can afford to drop that road and not worry about it and just make sure that I don't 7. People want to trade for brick, but no one is trading for brick yet. Blue tries to trade for wood. Red rolls a 7 and blocks the 10. And blue gets stolen from, so that's part of the reason why this 9, 10, 11 is not very good. We roll a 5. We can't do anything. We try to trade. We can't get anything. We roll a 9, which is good. Now at least we can dev. Orange wants brick again, but no one's trading him. The wheat doesn't do anything for me, and I don't want to trade for 2 cards because I'm already on 7. Another 5 goes. Blue buys a dev. Red avoids the 7 there. And they build their road settle. And, you know, red setup is good. Like, they have a lot of production, and they have the road connect. But it's also, like, very obviously good, right? Like, they're getting this wheat port, and they're just scary as soon as they get that. Versus us, who, you know, we're pacing. So we roll another 3 here, and I'm thinking, man, I'm just desperate to get this wood port. So I try to trade for the wood. They ask for 2 cards. I offer 2 cards, and I give the wheat and the brick for the wood, and which is a really good trade for us with all of the sheep. And we could have dev'd before we dropped the settlement here, but we dev'd after. It's a small mistake. I think, honestly, you could argue that, like, you want to then dev and then save the road builder for next turn to go to this 8. But I also don't even know if I would do that, because the thing is I want red to look scary. I can't really afford to be getting robbed here. I'm porting most of my production down just to do stuff. And I really need, at this point, I'm thinking I really need, like, this settle and to get to this 3-1. So I'm kind of thinking I might just use the road builder to try to do that. But one thing I also notice about this board is that, right, this 8 is the only good wood, and I kind of want to be on it. I also really want a 3-1. So as soon as I pull this road builder, I'm thinking, what if it's better to go to the 8 this way, right? Instead of setting up the road down here, why don't we just go this way? And then, you know, we have the road connect down here and we have the road connect over here. So it's kind of hard to break our roads. And I don't really think orange and blue have that much incentive to do that anyway. So now on orange's turn, they roll a 5 and they buy a development card. Blue rolls a 6, another 6. So there's a ton of sheep on this board. One thing I was thinking with this setup also, guys, is I really like the 9-6-3 over the 8-5-10 because you get to the sheep port and look how much sheep is on this board. Like, if we pull a mono this game, we can just absolutely evaporate the board on 6s and 8s. So that's something I was thinking about during placements also. Red drops a road. I'm trying to get, you know, the stuff for the settle here, so I'm offering, like, wheat for 2 cards, and nothing goes through, and I end up just playing the road builder just to get to that spot so I don't lose it to orange. Orange uses the knight and robs me, obviously, because they're upset that I took the settle. 10 gets rolled, and orange buys another dev. Another 5 for orange. We lose a brick to red, who, let's see what they needed the brick exactly to get the settle, so maybe they knew we had it. Now we roll a 7, and it's just clearly red here. They're at 4 points. They have the road connect. They're just clearly winning. An 11 gets rolled, which is big for red because it gives them an ore. And a 9 gets rolled, and luckily we blocked that one. Blue builds a road. Now red rolls a 7, and they come back and they get the ore. That's brutal. Now they've got 2. So if you look at their hand, they're very close to the city here. So I try to trade for the wheat here, but we can't get it, and we're not giving more than 2 cards because we have the sheep port. So we just settle, and now we've got, we've got good wood brick, right? We can compete for road here. I don't love competing for army against blue and orange, as I said at the start of the game, so we can compete for road. We have big production. We've got the sheep port. It's pretty good, guys. We got the 3-1. We're set up here. We're unlocked. Now, big turn for orange here. They mono for ore, which this looks kind of bad, right? If you're orange, you're monoing for just like a single city. But honestly, I think knowing that you're monoing 2 ore out of red's hand when they've got the city in hand is really big from orange. So I actually think that this was a good play from them, just to, slow down red. You city up your 8-5-10, which is just huge production. You should be able to get army here. I think this was a good play from orange. 6 gets rolled again. There's infinite sheep on the board. Not really. Now there's like 6. And red has to port down for the ore, and they buy a dev, and they drop a road, going to their 3-1, doubling their 11. It's a good spot, good play for red. They can connect like this. And here I roll a 7, and I ask non-block for non-block, because between... I kind of want to block red, but I don't want orange, like, blocking my 9 for some reason. So I just ask for the non-block, and no one says anything, but we get a sheep, and we just decide to hold here because we don't really know what we need, right? Like, if a 9 rolls, we want a dev, kind of, at this point. We want a dev. We want to city this really bad. So if a 3 rolls, we're just like 1 card away. We're kind of just holding the sheep. We don't want to port down for either ore or wheat because we don't know which one we need. So a 5 rolls. Orange buys another dev. Big 8 roll. Red uses a knight. Robs us. We lose the brick. Which sucks. We would have really liked to just have dropped that road to the 5-10 here. Red hits a 12, and that gives them what they need to get the road settlement. Perfect. That's a big turn for red there. We had an 8. We can't really do much here. I try to trade. They're offering me sheep for 2 wood. Wheat for sheep, and I think that that's just a good deal. It's just saving us a card, and we decide, we can pop here because we're blocked, and I just want a knight. I just want to move it off of that 9. I want to hit red, probably. Another 8 gets rolled, and now orange has a big hand here. So they're trying to trade for the sheep, or for the brick, so that they can road settle. They end up 4-for-1ing and getting their road settlement. Another reason why I plowed orange here is I was thinking with this setup, they probably get army. So just taking away one of their settles makes it so that they have to pull 2 VPs, which is a lot slower. Red moves and plays an aggro knight, moves it off of us, and solo blocks orange now. So I think that might have been a little bit of an overreaction from them. Another 6 gets rolled. We can't do anything. So we just decide to reduce our hand size and port down for a week here. And the reason why I'm doing that, guys, is, I have a lot of production here, actually. Five extra pips here. Yeah, I have a lot of production here, so I just don't want to 7 out, even though I don't have any rolls that directly put me over. I make cards on like a lot of rolls here, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11. I'm only missing like the 12 and the 10, and the 2. So I make cards like on most rolls, so I just want to reduce my hand size. It's a good probability here that we hit multiple rolls in this one next orbit. We hit a 9. We hit another 6. And blue buys a dev. Big 10 for orange there. Red's trying to trade here. Their hand is like completely kind of stuck, but I think in the end they just drop the city. Yep. Big city for red. And now it's clearly red here. I roll a 10. I'm not in a huge rush to move it off the 5 just because orange has a lot of ore. And I think I kind of want to leave it on there and see what their dev is. So I managed to trade a wood for a sheep. I'm trying to give more wood for ore, just accumulating ore in my hand, just trying to get this city down. I'm thinking here, like, if I can get another ore, maybe I can like aggro rob orange for the ore. So that's what I'm thinking here. In the end, we just end up buying a dev. And now I get 2 knights, and I think, hey, there's a shot we can get army here. An 8 rolls, we get more wood. Orange cities again with the Year of Plenty. And now I'm like, well, I'm actually ahead of orange by a dev. And blue drops a safety road just to prevent orange coming back here, and buys a dev. Then they use the Year of Plenty. They take 2 wheat, and they dev again. I think as blue here, you're kind of in a rough spot. Maybe you have to be saving that Year of Plenty to try to city up and like catch up in production with the rest of the board. Red rolls a 4, and then we roll a 9. And we try to trade, and we managed to get the wheat from red. And I spam clicked this when I offered this. And I try to get another one, and I get another one. And red just gave us a city there. So we drop it. Let's see what red was doing there. Yeah, so they're just getting 2 wood because they don't make much of it, which makes sense. But they gave us this city, and now I'm thinking like, well, I can take army from orange, and I might be able to connect for 9. So I decide that I'm gonna use the knight, and I'm gonna solo red here on their wheat roll, even though they have it, just because it's a big roll for them, and I don't want them like citying again. Another 5 gets rolled, and orange buys a dev. Blue rolls a 7, and red has to discard a bunch of wheat, so 2 cards for them, which is big. And blue solos the 5, and then uses a knight and hits the 3 and robs orange again. A 6 gets rolled, which is big for red, and they build 2 roads to get the longest road, and now they're on 8. So now I'm kind of thinking, well, the double play is going to be really tough. I mean, our connect is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but we need 4 roads, and he just needs to, he can like get roads pretty easily with this 6 and this 9. So I don't really know if I want to like hard commit for road. And another thing is blue dropped this road here, and that makes me think, okay, well, blue is kind of trying to play for road over here. So maybe there's ways that we can, play our knights, somehow get army before orange, and like get our road settles, road settle, army is 9. And we've got ore and wheat to make another city or pop devs. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. Maybe I can offload this wood to blue at some point. So I play my knight. Now I've got pacing. And I'm just looking for a way here to get another pop. So I'm hoping that I roll something. I'm robbing red because I know that they've got wheat. And we block a 9 and we hit one. And that's exactly what we needed, guys. So we decide to pop again. Let's get army. And we don't get it. And I'm like, oh man. So I tried to trade for another wheat here. I definitely would have popped again if I could have, but I couldn't. So just because I have so much production again, I'm on 5 cards. There's a good chance we hit multiple rolls here, and any of our rolls in our city with another roll put us over. So I just decide to drop here, just use our cards. I don't think red is coming back here. I think they're probably going to try to extend their road because they don't want me to be able to take it, right? Another interesting thing is we can actually here, I'm thinking if we want to double play somehow, we can wrap this for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If we wrap this whole thing and then go down here. On the next turn, orange rolls an 11, which is really big for red. And at this point, I'm like kicking myself because I'm like, how can an 11 just roll like that? And red's just going to pop or city up and win. And I put so much effort into this setup and thinking about all of this, taking this 6-9-3 instead of this 8-5-10, and I'm just going to not win. So we hit an 8. Blue plays a knight and hits the 5, which doesn't really do anything. At this point, I think you've kind of got to be hitting this 6. I'm at most, like, if I have a knight, I'm on 7, and he's just on 8. So I don't really know why he's blocking the 5 there. A 9 gets rolled, and red buys a dev, and it's a knight. A 6 gets rolled, and we have a dev here. We also, we have a city here. So let me know, what would you guys do here? We just decide to take the dev, right? Because even though blue might have army here, what I'm thinking is, well, I can almost pop again and get another one to take army back. Blue doesn't really have the production to keep up with us on devs. Like, if we're fighting blue for army, we should be able to get it, right? Also, there's no guarantee that blue even plays a knight on this turn, and orange probably isn't playing a knight on this turn because it's on the 5, right? They're not blocked. And so I think, I could city here, go to 7, right? Try to take road and settle for 9 against red. But I think I just get there faster if I take army. Like, if I take army, I'm at 8, settle for 9, right? That's like much quicker, it seems, than like building, 6 roads when my 5's getting blocked. So a 4 gets rolled, and orange plays their second mono of the game on the ore again. So they stole 4 ore the first time, and they stole 6 this time. This time it's not as good because they don't have the wheat. But they port down, and they buy a dev. They port down, they buy another dev. And they really needed knights there. They don't get them. But they're on 7, so they're thinking if they can just get army, they'll probably win too. An 11 gets rolled. Blue plays a knight, takes army, and hits red. Red uses a knight, and at this point, like, I don't look that scary, because I'm not getting army. Orange has the 2 cities, I'm probably not getting road. And yeah, we don't get blocked. We hit a 5. And at this point, red just extends. And I think they're kind of coming for this, but it's going to take them a while to get there. And yeah, I think here they just city. So I'm not that scared of getting plowed here. Yeah, so on my turn, I decide to play my knight and hit the 9. I get a sheep. 2 rolls, and I try to trade here. I'm trying to trade into more sheep to get another pop so that I can take army. And I get one from orange. And I pop, and that's army right there. 6 from red, that's really scary. Orange buys a dev. And then orange steals from red. Then blue rolls a 7 and steals from red again. This is really good for us. We really needed these steals on red here. They can just settle for the win. Blue settles. Robs us because he sees that we're taking army. And drops the next road. We take army. And we hit the 9 again. And we actually forego the card here. The only way I can get a card here is by putting it on the 3 and getting one from blue. And I just don't want this 9 to roll. I don't want like 9-6 to roll because that's just the settle. I don't want 9-5 or whatever, or like 9-11, or I just don't want the 9 to roll. The 9 is just a wheat and a free card for him. So I hit the 9 and we get an 8 and there's nothing I can do. So I just pass. We get a bunch of sheep, but so does red. And at this point, I'm thinking, ugh, it's just probably over. Red gets robbed again. We hit another 6, and there weren't enough sheep in the bank to actually distribute, which is so good for us because it prevents red from being able to pop. Right? Let's look. Yeah, they would have had enough. So we dodged a huge 6 there. They port down for an ore. We roll a 7. And we rob them again. We get a sheep. And at this point, we just decide, I'm just going to road settle for the win. I can't afford to pop anymore. Red is like too close. Like, we just need to get these settles down immediately. Maybe we could also city. Who knows? If we get a pop, we're going to pop for it because we're just scared of red getting there before us. An 11 rolls, which is big, but it also gives red free ore. So, you know, a 6 probably wins for them. Not quite. Oh yeah, 6 does win for them. So that's scary. They get robbed. And orange buys another dev. So at this point, orange can take army if they buy one more knight for 9. We roll a 4. Blue tries to trade, but no one's trading at this point in the game. Another 6 gets blocked for red. So would that have been win? Yeah, it would have been with the 3-1. So that's huge. We hit a 10. We drop the road. It's close, guys. 4. Buys a dev, uses a knight. We've got 1 turn to do it, guys. We've got 1 turn. Buys another dev. Ooh, 2 ore. Scary. Scary. They might be able to take army and city if we can't do it this turn. Blue builds the 2 roads. Blue never had a chance this game. And then on red's turn, big 8 roll. We've got it, guys. There's nothing that could be done. Red doesn't have enough cards. We blocked the 6, we blocked the 9, we slowed them down for 2 orbits. We were like sneaking in there because we had the VP, and we just settle for the win. Feels good. Crazy game. The dice, you know, these 6s went off, right? These 9s also went off, but we actually didn't have the most resources out of everyone this game. We were about even with orange, and we were way behind blue. So that's kind of how you play from behind. I swapped my win condition multiple times in that game. I was thinking, you know, do I take road? Do I double play? I was bobbing and weaving the entire game. And one thing you'll hear me say a lot is like, I'll say during a game, like, oh, I don't want to buy knights because look how many knights this other player has. Or look how many devs this other player has. Or I don't want to build roads because, like, look at this other player's road connect. And that's a big part of the game, guys. Planning on when you're going to take whatever win condition to kind of sneak up on your opponents and get in a position where you have rolls to win, but maybe you're not getting robbed most of the game. When you just go far ahead and play straight up for army or road, as soon as you take your win condition, if you're doing well, usually you're getting robbed. But if you can find a way to be the person who takes a win condition that maybe it didn't look like you might get, that can help you get into a position where you can win the game without getting blocked and robbed. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in this next clip here.